Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Discussions in the afterlife. Yeah, we got some ghosty stuff to talk about. And this is Colleen.
And here's Jim.
Yeah, and we're back. I'm back in Pennsylvania. This is our first one of this season here in Pennsylvania together. And today we're going to talk about personalities in the afterlife. Those personalities come from us as humans. We carry everything we do as a human here living, we take to the afterlife with us. So we want to discuss some of how we know this, and of course how we know any of this information. It all comes from them, our invisible relatives. We put recorders around the house. We ask questions. We sit real quiet, give them time to answer, then we listen to it all.
Yeah, and the listening, it takes, a long time to sauce it all out, and we recheck each other's work. So it really is, we try never to just jump at the first thing we hear. We really work on.
Yeah, it's very tedious work, but we get it through, and we're relaying this information we get to you. So we're going to start with our grandfather Finnegan, Bubba Finnegan, we called him Bubba. And he is running these studies. When we put the recorders around, he is the one recruiting people to come into the house. He's putting out buffets of food. He's putting out liquor, the beer. They talk about this stuff. That's how we know.
Hey, he's waiting at the front door, welcoming people, perhaps pointing, you sit there. Who knows?
And we don't always hear his voice, but we hear people refer to him. And they refer to him as Big Jim, and he was a big guy. They refer to him as Bubba. They refer to him as just Jim. And yeah, so we know he's here. He's usually always around. And when he was alive, he was a boss. He owned a huge mechanical contracting company in Philadelphia. He did all the city work. He did City Hall Annex. He did the subway system. He did all the plumbing at International Airport when that was first built. He did
Penn's Landing.
He did crazy work, and so he was a big shot, a respected big shot in as a human, as a living person, and he's still a boss in the afterlife. So that's the first example we have that he carried that with him. He took that self-assurity, might be the word. He took that with him into the afterlife. Where he's been put in charge of this family group that Colleen and I are a part of.
That's right. And Aunt Grace, his sister, she's another person that we knew in life. Like we're just touching base with all the people that we knew in life and we've heard from or heard about in the afterlife. And she was just this big, jolly lady. I mean, Bubba was a big guy too.
Right.
And she just had a certain voice that was very, you could detect that voice from around the corner.
Right. And we recorded her asking about our father soon after he died. It's been almost 9 years since he's passed. And I had recorders set up at a house I used to own over in Bally, Pennsylvania. And up on the second floor, we recorded her when I was asking about who's helping our father in the afterlife. And she responded, I'm one of his helpers. And she just that distinct voice. You can't miss it.
Right.
Yeah. And so she admittedly was helping him.
Was helping him. Who knows what came of that. But then there's Cousin Joan, who hung out with Aunt Grace. They were all really, really close-knit. And Cousin Joan was such a fan of our father. She wasn't that much older than him, but old enough to babysit him. And, she just thought he was funny. He was a really rambunctious kid who would make gadgets and half the time she would get hurt, like, oh, stick your finger in this hole. And he blew like the tip of her finger off. And, he was just, she had to keep up with him. But she thought he was funny. And we heard that after he passed away and we asked about him, that Cousin Joan was helping.
Right, as she did all her life.
Looked after him.
Looked after him. Now she's looking after him in the afterlife. Yeah, it just it keeps going. We have a cousin, second cousin, Tommy Finnegan. He grew up just up the road from our father in Philadelphia. But then, like the day after he graduated high school, he marched right off to Alaska, uh, and he spent the rest of his life up in Alaska. His primary job was running a school for juvenile boys, working a school for juveniles that were just troubled youth. And Tommy was a big fella and a big, tall, muscular. And yeah, that's the only way you could deal with these boys. But it was a very caring job. Tommy gave a lot to help these kids, and pretty much he's doing that in the afterlife.
Yeah, Tommy had a big personality. He was the kind of guy that knew what he wanted and he went and did it. And it sounds like he's doing the same where he's at now.
Yeah. Yeah, he worked really hard when he got back. He had dementia when he died, and when he got back to the afterlife, the Finnegan group, our family, invisible members, they all worked with him to try to get his brain back together again, so he could start helping his uncle, Bubba, the boss. So yeah, Tommy's exact same thing. He took his personality with him.
Right, and it was to help the group. It was to help, that's what all these people are doing. Aunt
Right.
Grace, Cousin Joan, Bubba, Tommy. They're all there to support the group and get us further ahead. And then comes our father.
Yeah, he was a troubled youth. He was a bad parent. He was just a pompous narcissist. He just was a big shot. And he liked being a big shot, but he really wasn't. He just owned a little bar restaurant in a little town outside of, north of Philly a ways. It just really wasn't.
Yeah, he always put on airs.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Anything he did, like build a house or put in a pool, he'd sit and really want everyone's attention about how wonderful it is and how wonderful he is. He needed that feedback.
Yes, he did.
For whatever reason, but it seems as though he has really run himself right out of the group.
Yes, we learned the last video I did down in Panama before I returned up here to Pennsylvania. We learned that he got the boot, but Colleen and I wanted to confirm it, so we recently did a study they confirmed it all right. And our father's very angry about it, but he's out, and because the group just couldn't take his bullshit anymore. Really, that's what it come down to.
Well, it sounded like the Kennedy group kind of passed him on to us.
Yeah, some family with the last name Kennedy kind of finagled the Finnegans into taking this man, and it was a mistake. One guy really pointed that out hard to us. That he was a huge mistake that the Finnegans made, and he was holding the Finnegans back. So to help us get ahead, the group just discharged him. So he's out. He's gone. And that's real. And the point of this video is to explain that the personality you have when you're here as a human, as a living person, is something you're going to take with you. So the best thing you can do, especially you young people, do a good job. Educate yourself. Don't be that obnoxious prick that nobody likes, that everybody's trying to run away from, because you're going to carry that with you into the afterlife. It's not doing you any good. It's not doing your family any good. That's pretty much where we're at today.
Yeah, step up and just be a good person. Basically, that's what you need to do.
That is the easiest thing to do. So we're going to check in with you soon and see how you're doing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
Subscribe.
Thumbs up. Yes, please. Thumbs up, man. Need it. It's important.
And leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment. If you have an idea about videos, we could even ask them questions and see where they go. They answer. Thanks. Bye.